Well, hello, visitors to and denizens of the YouTubeverse. I'm John, your sociable hermit in the woods, and this is going to be a real short video this time, but I promised before I'd show how to make grouse tacos. So stick around. So what you're going to need is a large fry pan with a lid. You need one set of shredded grouse. If you don't know how to make shredded grouse, stick around to the end. There'll be a link telling you how to do that. Um, and then grouse meat is quite dry. So one of the tricks I like to do when I make grouse tacos is to saute it first in just a little bit, ideally of leftover bacon fat. So we're gonna use a little bit of our bacon fat here. If you're doing this with a ruffed grouse basically substitutes for chicken. But today I'm going to be doing this with a spruce grouse, so named because that's what they live on, and well, it gives them a little bit of a spruce needle flavor. So I'm going to change things a little bit. Spruce grouse tends to be much better if you can simmer it a little bit with some tomato sauce. So what I'm going to do is actually do a pre-simmer with some tomato sauce, and then we're just going to add some taco seasonings and water and let that cook down for a while. So here we go. So step number one, we're going to get a bit, and by a bit I would say not quite a tablespoon of bacon grease. I'll put in just a little tiny bit more, a fair bit of meat there. We'll drop that in and wait for that to melt. Once that bacon fat is nicely melted, we're just going to take our prepared shredded grouse. There we go. Nice bowl of it there, all ready to go. And we're going to drop that in there. You can probably hear it sizzle a little bit. We're just going to stir that around. It shouldn't look greasy. There's really not a lot of bacon fat here for the amount of meat, and it's just going to give a very light coating of it on there and add a little bit of fat, which will help the texture. Okay, and this, of course, is already pre-cooked, but so I'm not really going to fry it here. I just kind of want to get it coated and heat it up a little bit. Now, if this were ruffed grouse, I would at this point just simply go treat this like this was hamburger I was going to make taco with, and just add water and taco seasonings. But spruce grouse, so named because that's what it lives on, has a little bit of a stronger flavor. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to start off by adding, I'm going to go with about 2 cups of water just to get enough depth on the pan there. And then I'm going to use a concentrated tomato paste. You can buy this type that comes in a tube, which is nice because you don't have to open and use a whole can at one setting. And I'm going to put a squeeze of that in there. Okay. And I'm going to give that a stir. And simmering this in the tomato paste will sort of smooth out the flavor of the spruce grouse and make it actually really good. And I'm going to do this part before I add the rest of the seasonings. So we'll get that ready, and we're going to let that simmer for a little bit. Okay, now that that has pre-simmered for a bit, we're going to continue just like I would with a ruffed grouse, which is, I'm going to go the simple route tonight and just use a pre-made taco seasoning mix. You could, of course, do your own, but I'm going to go ahead and add that in. Give that a good stir. Now, I'm going to do one other thing a little bit different. Again, because this is a spruce grouse, I suspect a little bit of extra cumin would probably be a good idea here. So I'm going to go ahead and put on a good healthy dose of that. Ooh, that smells really good. Okay, And also because that's already simmered down for a while, I'm trying to soften everything up here a bit. So I'm actually going to add about another cup of water at this point, and I'm going to turn it right down low. And I'm going to let that simmer until it's down to the right texture. So that'll take about another 15 or 20 minutes. And during that time, I'll shred the cheese and get the tortillas ready and all the other stuff I need for the toppings here. So let's check back in a couple of minutes. Well, there we have the assembled ingredients. If you explored around my channel, you know how to make the tortillas, you know how to grow the sprouts. Hint, it's in the sprout tower right there. You know a little bit about my preferences when hunting for grouse. You know now how to make the grouse taco meat out of either rough grouse or spruce grouse. And the rest of it is just up to whatever toppings you want. So give it a try. Get yourself some grouse, some seasonings, and put one together with whatever it is you like and give it a try. Because almost everything here is something you either grew, hunted, or prepared yourself, other than a few minor extra seasonings and some basic ingredients. And it's a delicious meal that you can make even up in the middle of nowhere. I'll give you a hint. I haven't been to the grocery store. Tomorrow will be a whole month, and I can still turn out something like this. Boy, that looks good. All right. Until next time, this is John, the social hermit in the woods, hoping I've given you some interesting ideas. We'll see you later.